Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. I am finally getting around to reviewing a very, very popular EDC knife, the Kershaw Skyline. I actually can't believe I've gone this long without reviewing this knife. It actually came to my attention during my last review. So I went through some of my videos and I could not find a review on the Kershaw Skyline, which I do have and I actually like very much. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Let's take a very close look at it. First, as you can see, it has a classic Kershaw clip that you would normally find on a lot of different ones. Here's my Kershaw Storm. You can see how it resembles it. Now this is a flipper, so you can deploy the blade by simply pushing the flipper. It doesn't really come out with authority. I know some people have used this. I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out a little bit, and they could get it to really come out. If you use a little bit of wrist action, you could get it out there really quick. This is new, so it will eventually break in and it'll probably come out pretty good. Other things I always check when I first get a knife is for play. There is no up, down, side play of any sort. If there were, there is a pivot screw. That screw is a Torx. It can be adjusted. By the way, there are some other Torx here if you want to go ahead and disassemble this knife. This is a plain edge blade. There are no serrations. As you can see, it is a hollow ground blade. The length is 3 1/8 inch long. The blade material is made in Sweden, is known as Sandvik 18C28N. Now, there's a little bit of debate. Going through some different websites, I've actually seen this listed as 13C26. So maybe the earlier versions were made with that steel, and at some point they upgraded to the 14C28N. They're both steels that were designed for razor blades, and the difference, as far as I can tell, is that the 14 is made to be a little more corrosion resistant. So real good Swedish steel. Now, as you can see, this is a liner lock. So once you go ahead and deploy it either with that flipper or dual thumb studs, you can see you have thumb studs on both sides. I'll go ahead and try to, actually I get it out quicker with the thumb stud. It locks up. You can see the lock up there is a little bit early, but as it wears in, it'll probably wear in pretty perfect right there. So very good lock up. As far as grip, this little finger groove here, finger toil here, is very deep. It's almost the hallmark of this knife. It stands out, and your finger is in there so deep. And this flipper, which starts out on the other side, that comes around, actually extends that into a very deep finger groove. You don't have to worry about your hand slipping when you're pushing in with this knife. There are no serrations up here, but really for an EDC, which is what the purpose of this knife is, you really don't need any more serrations than that. The size is perfect. One of the things I'm always a stickler about is when you close your blade, how much extra space is left, and there really isn't. By the way, blade centering is perfect. These scales are G10. They have this really nice texture. It doesn't really, it's not like really aggressive, but it's just the right texture where you don't have to worry about it slipping out of your hand. And it's G10. It doesn't have a liner. The only liner is the actual liner lock that's in here. The other side, there is nothing in there other than the G10 itself, which makes this very, very light. It is a light 2.3 ounces. Again, makes it a very, very good EDC knife. So, going through some of the reviews online, you know, like if you go to the Amazon websites or you go to the other knife websites, you're going to see reviews 4.5 to 5 out of 5 stars everywhere you go. So, as far as the hardness of this steel, it could be anywhere between 55 and 62. All depends on the treatment. So, now, something extremely important that I never say enough, or never can say enough, is that this is made in the USA. By the way, the model number is 1760 if you're still looking for it. This particular knife, I like the way Kershaw puts their manufacture date on there, and it's February 2009, so I've had this a while and I haven't reviewed it. I feel kind of bad about it because it's such a good knife. Now the clip is a little short, and it's a little tight, and it's pressing up against this texture, so it is tight in your pocket, but it's not bad. It's pretty good. You can see that the clip is held by 2 screws. Now you can go ahead and undo those 2 torque screws and place them here. So you could reverse the clip and make it so your edge is up, so you could carry it with your blade up, which is the way I like to carry it. I like to carry it with the edge up there, with the point up. So for those of you, however, let's look at the other side. Nope, it's just right hand carry, not left. Sorry about that. Also, again, there is a lanyard hold. That lanyard hold is just a little small. I think you could probably squeeze in some 1515 cord, but it's going to be a tight fit. Again, you have some torque screws here to disassemble. It's not completely open, but there's enough to get the dirt out the back. Again, let's go ahead and open this up, and you can see that there's enough to get dirt out, but if you really have to disassemble it, you can. So this is my short review. It's been a long week. I'm sorry about rushing through this, but I wanted to go ahead and get a review out, and this is definitely a knife that's worthy of a very, very good review by the Gear Obsession channel. Now, the last thing I need to do, I have not used this knife since I took it out of the box, and that is to give it the customary paper test. And it's very sharp. So, it comes very sharp out of the box. Again, spear point, hollow point. The ground starts out pretty high, right about there. So really good, useful, almost perfect, if not perfect, EDC carry blade for a lot of you. You definitely want to consider it. Retail price is $65, but that's not what you're going to pay for it. Sometimes Walmart carries this for the unbelievable low price of like $35. And you can find it, if you look hard enough, for clearance price of as low as maybe even $15. So if you come across this, especially on those clearance prices, don't pass it up. The Kershaw Skyline, definitely a 10 out of 10 here at the Gear Obsession channel. As some of you might have already known who have watched my channel a while ago, I used to carry the Kershaw Storm all the time and absolutely loved it. It does have those serrations, but it has a unique set of serrations on it. And I loved it. I absolutely love Kershaws. Kershaws are on my list of top knife maker. So, really love it. But if you want something just a little lighter, but still just as skinny, and you want to get rid of those serrations, this is the perfect EDC carry knife. It's just perfect. So, looks like I'm having a little bit of electrical storm. My ups is going off, so I better end this really quick. So, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel before I lose power. By the way, I'm feeling a lot better. For those of you who know all my back concerns, it is a torn disc. It's all being taken care of, and things are getting better. I had a couple of questions about pictures back here. Yes, this is my surveillance camera, so you sneak it up on my house, I know you're coming, so you better watch out. because I'm watching. Okay, you all have a great evening, and I'll catch you next week.